Hello everyone, welcome to the video. In this video, I want to quickly share some interesting lore and character designs relating to Six, our newest character that has just been released, and Eternity, one of the OG characters in the game of Reverse 1999. Now this video is sponsored by Reverse 1999, but I'm sure you can tell by now I've been making plenty of these videos and I absolutely love the game. So thank you to the team at Reverse 1999 for supporting the channel. And with that said, let's talk about Six, our newest character. Just like many other characters on the island, Six has a number for his name, and using number as a form of identity is associated with the concept of numerology, or basically a spiritual number for certain individuals. It's kinda like a method of fortune telling that involves things like birthdays, letters, personalities, or even their destiny. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, think of numerology as one of those MBTI personality tests, except numerology goes one step further, dealing with philosophy and destinies. And with that concept, within this numerology theory, the number 6 is connected to characteristics like responsibility, tolerance, or service. And people with the number 6 as their name are also interested in different forms of art, such as music and painting. But aside from these broad categorizations, one of the biggest characteristics of number 6 is the idea of perfection. Here's some examples. When it comes to number 6, even if we step away from numerology, there are many other interesting connections that we see in real life. For example, in religion, 6 is associated with the first 6 days of creation and the 7th day as resting, making the meaning of number 6 very significant yet again. Even in math, 6 is considered a perfect number because if you take the true divisors of 6, which are basically 1, 2, and 3, and add them together, the total is 6, making 6 the first and the smallest perfect number. Honestly, I don't know how this works, but it apparently makes it very significant. Now, what's interesting about all this is that so many of these universal structures and philosophical ideas are all showcased directly within Six inside the game as a character, making him a very important figure on the island as he was showcased through the story. Now, personally, one of the coolest things that stands out for me about Six comes from one of his voice lines.
The wise ones on this island used to strike the iron ingots. After years of careful arrangements and calculations, the clanging sound became music.
Now, originally I was confused on what this even meant, but I was interested, so I did a bit of research. Apparently, there's a theory called the Pythagorean temperament. It's an experimentation done by Pythagoras, which illustrates and explains music through the structure of numbers. Okay, Pythagoras realized that when hammers of different weights bang against a metal, they produce different sounds. Then he also realized that these sounds, when combined together, creates harmonic sounds. He essentially realized that the harmonics of sound can be explained using number structure. Now, the big picture behind Pythagorean temperament is actually pretty simple. Literally everything and anything are associated with numbers and can be explained with numbers. Honestly, I just thought it was really cool that a deep theory of this nature is also casually included within Six's voice lines, just waiting for us to discover. It also kind of blows my mind that literally everything about the character is associated with his lore in some way. Even things like the hexagon that is showcased on his outfit also screams to me like the ideas of structure, stability, symmetry, not to mention it obviously has 6 sides. And just like 37, we can also see Six wearing chatons and himations to symbolize his high status and importance in the story. Now, to be honest, originally, I wasn't too interested in Six as a character, but again, after seeing just how deep the rabbit hole goes with the character design, linking with the concepts of philosophy, the universe, religion, I think he's a very well-designed character with a lot of depth and very awesome lore, just like many other characters in the game of Reverse 1999. Now, speaking of other characters, let's now talk about Eternity. So obviously, her name is Eternity, which means a very long time. And of course, throughout the game, she does give us some hints regarding how old she actually is. But here's where things get interesting. We call her Eternity in our localized global translation, but in the original text in Chinese, it's a reference to Julie Winifred Bertrand, who is one of the oldest women to have lived on Earth between 1981 to 2007. But if we dig a little bit deeper, we can learn that Eternity is immortal. So the question is, how? Now, it's never directly explained in the game why she's able to live for so long, but there are hints, and it has to do with vampires. During the 18th and 19th centuries, tuberculosis became rampant and many people called it the consumption or the white plague because people were losing weight or would become extremely pale. And because of the lack of scientific means to understand what tuberculosis was, people just decided to pin it on vampires. Now that obviously sounds ridiculous, but you must understand that during that time, superstitions were pretty common. And now, this concept of superstition is being mirrored within Eternity's story, where similar incident occurred in Exeter, Rhode Island in the United States. And just like many other things in the game of Reverse 1999, this story is also inspired from an incident that occurred in 1892 in the same location of Exeter, Rhode Island, called the Mercy Brown Vampire Incident. Now obviously these people with tuberculosis weren't vampires, but as if to reference this entire superstition tale, inside the Voice Lines of Eternity we can see several times where she references these things in multiple ways. But since Reverse 1999 is a fictional world within a video game, is Eternity hinting to us that she's in fact a vampire? And is that why she's immortal? Or is there another explanation and all these casual references to real life events are Eternity trolling and breaking the fourth wall? Honestly, it's not 100% certain. And even within the story of the game, a lot of people were trying to uncover her secret too, but they all failed eventually. But if I were to take a random guess, maybe it has something to do with the reason why she eventually left Exeter in the first place. And maybe something happened that gave her the ability of immortality. But whatever the case may be, I wonder if this might be elaborated or showcased later in one of the character anecdotes about Eternity in the future. And if it does, I think that'll be awesome in learning more about her backstory as a whole. Now, I do kind of feel bad about something because initially when I was first introduced to Eternity in the game, I thought she was this spoiled little brat who is jokingly egotistical. But then I realized it's not because she's a spoiled little girl, she just happens to be super rich and old. And it is respectable because it seems like she's just trying to enjoy her daily life and not let external factors affect what she wants to do with her life. And in that regard, I ended up liking her a lot more after a bit of research into her character, and thankfully, that's something that I've experienced over and over with all the characters inside the game. Now, if you're interested in more in-depth analysis of characters in Reverse 1999, make sure to check out our previous video by clicking on the screen. And again, just want to give a special thank you to Reverse 1999 for sponsoring this video. Make sure to try out the game by using the link in the description below to learn about the amazing lore and characters inside Reverse 1999. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.